Student attitudes towards extracurriculars in school continue to diminish, which creates a poor school culture. This creates a poor school environment among students and faculty.
School culture refers to the shared beliefs and values that define a school's personality, guide how the community functions, and promote school spirit and achievement. It is an essential part of the student experience and the spirit of communities. When school culture is negative or fading, students, teachers, and communities suffer. This process is a cycle. When school culture is poor, it promotes apathetic attitudes. This goes to students and teachers, which then leads to low motivations from students and faculty. This leads to low support and worse overall performance, which leads right back to the poor school culture. Many schools, such as Norton High School, have and continue to encourage students to step up and be the leader that will help students feel more engaged and a part of the school. While some students follow this and become very positive for student engagement, most students could not care less about school spirit and culture. Decades of research over how to improve student engagement and school culture seems to have a much smaller impact than expected. A 2024 national survey conducted by Pew Research found that 58% of high school students showed little or no interest in learning whatsoever.
I talked to a student who recently moved from another school to get his input on some of the ways other schools reinforce their cultures and bring students together.
Since you were a fellow member of another school, do you think it is better here or at Copley?
Yeah, well, no offense, but it's way better at Copley than.
Do you think that's because it's a bigger school or just more participation?
Yeah, I think it adds up to both, because even though Copley's a huge school, they have way more clubs, so people feel way more inclusive.
As I discussed with Oswald, the student population does play a role in school spirit and engagement, but having numerous clubs and accessible activities provided for a student body is an important characteristic that a school should acquire.
It is evident that poor student attitudes are killing school culture, but is there a solution?
We have the solution. Role models and student leadership is lower than ever. Increasing leadership among different grade levels will help change student attitudes inside and outside the classroom environment. By identifying true role models through different student government clubs and sports teams, it will pave the way for others to follow their lead.
Support models have the ability to connect to peers on a social level, which is important to student success inside a school environment. Being able to build and connect to peers of different ages and backgrounds will help students build a strong school community that increases engagement. A study done in 2025 by Communities in School in Jacksonville, Florida, concludes that by cultivating leadership abilities, students gain confidence, a sense of responsibility, and an understanding of how to work with others toward a common goal.
Students who adopt a leadership role tend to be viewed as role models throughout the student body. Therefore, coordination between each leader has a role in the decision-making process. They're able to understand what their fellow students want while making a decision. Leaders can be identified in any group environment, such as sports, clubs, student government. They are chosen by a representation of their qualities by an overseer. Instead of making a hierarchy of power in each club, coordinating group tasks to demonstrate pride and leadership to peers, where students are able to recognize these peer leaderships. Going forward, connecting these leadership groups on tasks to work with the student body towards improvement on student engagement.
Some argue that combining leadership and promoting student involvement is ineffective toward solving the crisis of student disengagement. In his article, Associate Dean at The Ohio State University, Dr. Matthew Couch, explains that some students are so highly involved they experience challenges with their physical health, emotional well-being, academic performance, and interpersonal relationships. Putting the weight of school leadership on its students definitely has its disadvantages, but the benefits of transformational leadership and student-led programs create a greater overall sense of community and school culture, boosting student morale and attitudes. Regarding the immense impact of student leaders, educator Corlett Mays detailed in a 2016 article that the most significant contribution student leaders can make is not just to issues of today, but to the long-term goals of developing people, schools, and communities so they can adapt and grow. Student leadership is less of an optional aspect among schools and communities, and educators across America, including Mays, second this. Norton High School is in need of students who show leadership qualities, but most importantly, they must demonstrate transformational leadership to have the greatest impact. Transformational leadership pertains to leaders who want to inspire, motivate, and persuade those who do not desire participation. Concerned stakeholder Maria Martinez, a PhD in student education and psychology, conducted a review of transformational leadership's effects and found that good transformational student leadership optimizes the academic engagement of students, optimizing dimensions of engagement that consider participation, effectiveness, and motivation among peers. Transformational leadership qualities can be found at every school, although when they are not recognized, these qualities become ineffective. Recognizing leaders at Norton High School is extremely important when considering student engagement, as transformational leadership has major benefits towards school success and culture. Identifying these types of leaders can be difficult, but when students are divided into areas of their interests, whether sports, Key Club, Art Club, or National Honor Society, teachers can recognize outstanding members with these qualities who are willing to take charge through participation and leadership. Through this, teachers can utilize the members of schools most effectively to make a stronger school culture and community.
Additionally, having the ability to focus on transformational leadership qualities is highly important towards proper change in the school system. The National Labor Partnership explored these qualities and determined the effects of supportive leadership that was demonstrated in various students. Notably, it was found when student-centered working committees and leadership teams are supported, their collaboration was transformative, leading to positive outcomes across the entire school system. Specifically, to create leadership models, there must be support within each small group to create one larger motivational group that gains more strength to support student engagement. As said, the change is striving to be done here at Norton already, as various clubs are coming together to strengthen the student body with their transformational cooperation. Continuing support of these clubs is a cycle, and as this cycle comes to a close, those transformational leaders who supported and gained a positive school culture through their peers start to see more support towards the school system and their followers in participation and school activities.
Being able to find and identify student role models throughout the school day will without a doubt help increase student engagement, while student government groups set the stage for surrounding students to follow their lead. Through group participation and coordination, the accomplishments of the school community and areas of engagement will continuously increase.
No one's too cool for school.